Morning, everyone. My name is Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a realtor here in the Villages, Florida. In today's episode, we're going to talk about repairs. Once you go under agreement in the Villages, what happens and what type of contract are you on? Does the seller have to make any repairs? Can we get out of it if we don't like it? You will discover that all today in this episode. So if you're new here and you want to search the MLS for all homes that are available, you want to take a look at this right now. Before we start, make sure you go to my website, robyncavallaro.com, and here's the address here. You can search for any home that's available here, well, in Florida, but in the Villages. And what I've done is I've broken it down by sections. So if you want to search the historic area, you want to search Marion County, you want to search south of 44, and on and on. You can just click on it and search it. You can save the searches. It'll send you emails with market updates. You get notes from me all of the time reminding you, hey, I'm here, do you need help? So don't forget, go and search my website and also get my book. It's available in Amazon in print on Amazon. Also, you can get it on Kindle or as a download on my website. All right, back to the regularly scheduled program. Okay, so now make sure you go and search my website, sign up, and I have an email newsletter that I try to get out regularly, but sometimes I get a little bit behind. Okay, so, one other big thing here. I want you to check this book out that I just published. It's up on Amazon. It says Robyn approved, and I'm giving it now to all my buyers when they get in the car to help keep you organized when it comes to a home purchase. But you can buy it and use it if you're beginning your search and you want to keep tabs on things and keep track of homes, addresses, what it maybe have listed for, what it sold for, what area it was in, what village it was in, all that good stuff you can keep in this book. It'll track up to 25 homes. There is a second page for notes. I have my next steps checklist in there for you. I also have information on the buying process, renovation schedules, budgets, you need to do that, and a lot of pages for you just to make general notes. So it's available on Amazon right now for $9.99. Printing is expensive, so I make like less than $1 on this. But it's there for you to use. But if you get in my car and you start your home search with me, I will give you a copy so you can follow along. All right, so let's get back to repairs. So we have two types of contracts here. We have an as-is, and we have the standard contract. And I talked about this in a previous video, but this as-is contract is primarily what's used in the rest of the country, and it allows you to get out of the contract within the inspection period for whatever reason. Like, you just woke up and you're in a bad mood that day and you didn't feel like buying the home. You can do that. But also with that, when you get an inspection, if there are a lot of things that are broken or repairs that need to be made, the seller is not obligated to make any of those repairs. That would be up to you. You can try to negotiate that, but they're not obligated to make that repair. And we're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you that contract. Then there is the standard contract, which primarily is used here in the Villages unless the houses are all dump for the most part. Now, some people just want an as-is contract, but if it looks like it's going to need a lot of repairs, realtors will not put it on that standard contract. The standard contract, what's different about it, and the Villages uses this type of language in it's their own contract, but within the inspection period, once you go under agreement, you're bound to that contract. But the seller must make repairs up to a certain amount. Now, if left blank, it's 1.5% of the sale price of the home. But sometimes realtors will, depending on the price of the negotiation that's happening, will add an amount in there. The seller doesn't want to pay more than $500 in repairs or more than $1,000 in repairs. So you might see that. I have had some instances where they had a standard contract and then they put the seller doesn't want to make any repairs at 0. And in my opinion, Well, in my opinion, I don't want to lock you into an agreement or have to argue or fight to get out of one. So if I have a listing agent come back and say the seller doesn't want to make any repairs, then I say we're putting it on an as-is contract because you can't bind my buyers to this contract. You can't have it both ways. You don't want to fix anything, that's fine. But then they have the opportunity to get out if they don't like how the inspection comes. And that's a me thing. That's how I operate. I can't speak for any other realtors, but that's how I feel I'm protecting my buyers. I feel it's in their best interest. So you'll see them come back with different levels or 1.5%. I haven't really seen anything too outrageous where we had to back out because the repair amount was so unbelievable, but I'm sure that has happened. Just know, and I had this one deal where I'm going to tell you, the realtors that I was dealing with were a real pain in the neck. They barely wanted to fix anything. They gave me such a hard time about everything, fought me tooth and nail on every item. So much to the fact where I almost don't even want to show any of their homes anymore, just because it was so difficult and it was ridiculous. But those are the things you might run into. Finding also that now in this market, because sellers aren't getting what they thought they would receive for the sale price of their home, that they don't necessarily want to make repairs. And, sometimes it's the realtor, but some be the seller, saying, hey, I don't want to make these repairs. But then it's up to us to say, well, this is the contract and you need to, abide by it. When I do a listing, I talk about both types of contracts with my sellers and explain to them the difference so they know. And together we'll make a choice on what type of contract we should accept. So, you get the contract, it's under agreement, you do an inspection, the inspection report comes back, and now we're going to go to the computer and I'm going to show you the differences in the contract and how they would respond if you need repairs in your home before you close. All right, that's it. This section, it details the information of how a home repair request will be handled. So we just spoke about this earlier. It talks about maintaining the property while it's for sale, but then we're going into the property inspection and repair. So we have 10 days to conduct this repair request. Now I've seen 7, 10, 15. It all depends on your buyer and their request. This is something that the seller can actually negotiate. Personally, I've seen 7 days. I typically do not like that 7-day just because with the weekend, if the inspector can't get out there for a day or two, then we're rushing around trying to get all of our ducks in a row and everything signed so we are within those guidelines. So I like 10 days. The inspector that I use Sterner Home Inspections. Well, I have 3 on my list. I recommend Sean. I've worked with him on countless homes and I feel he does a very good and thorough job, but everybody can pick whomever they would like. But during this 10 days is when we have the time to get the inspection report, review it, and in this standard contract, request any repairs that have to be made. So under the general inspection, it outlines those items specified in which a seller is obligated to repair or replace may be inspected by the person who specializes and holds an occupational license, which the inspectors do. So in this section under property condition, well, here, let's start. This is the inspection period. This details what a general inspection is, and then we get to the condition of the property. So once they do the inspection, the items that need to be repaired are, if you look here, we're going to highlight this, free of leaks, water damage, interior walls, doors, windows, foundation, the pool equipment, any non-leased appliances, heating, everything needs to be here in working condition. And it needs to be operating in the manner in which the item was designed to operate. Cosmetic conditions, which is important that you know this, cracks, scrapes, dents, dings, caulking are considered cosmetic. Now, caulking can come back in an inspection where it says to prevent moisture intrusion, but if there's no moisture present, it is still considered a cosmetic item. So please understand that when we get through the inspection report, that you understand that. And also the limit applies to handling if there's any wood destroying organism damage and permits, the closeouts of permits. And this can be huge if there's an open permit and has been closed. So we can talk about that another time or give me a call. All right, so then we get to section 9, which is before what the repairs mean. This says how much the seller will pay for these repairs. So typically, if this is all left blank, it's 1.5% of the sale price of the home. Occasionally, depending on the negotiation and what the offer is, the seller may come back and say, I only want to pay up to $500 in repairs, I only want to pay $1,000, or I don't want to pay any. I'll talk about that in a minute when it comes to they wouldn't want to pay for any and how I handle that. But you'll find we'll put an amount. Like I just had one that we went pending today where the seller came back and said they only want to pay up to $500 worth of repairs. And we negotiated the price, and then that's what they came back with. It's a new house. I'm not really expecting to find anything, so that's acceptable to me. If in fact it went over the $500, then that's the time that we can negotiate, because the seller doesn't have to necessarily pay if the buyer doesn't want to pay, and we just start to negotiate from there. So it's important to know when you are requesting repairs. And here's also another option for you, which I've done in the past. Instead of the seller making the repair, we ask for a credit, whatever that may be. You go through the list and you could get prices or estimate about how much it would be and say, okay, in lieu of you making these repairs, I want to pick my own contractors. So with that said, we'll ask for $500, $1,000, $2,000, whatever, $5,000 in credit at closing, and it has to be reasonable. I say $5,000 because if you're in $1 million home and they need a lot of repairs, it could get kind of costly, but it's a reasonable number. And then once you take possession, you make those repairs. Please know, never, ever, ever make a repair to a home you don't own, and do not try to renovate or ask to renovate a home in which you do not own yet, because you never know what's going to happen. You certainly don't want to put new flooring into a house and you find out the transaction is going to fall through, and now you just put brand new flooring in someone else's home. And this is the as-is contract and the language that is written into it. And basically this is saying that we have whatever it is, the days that we want to complete this inspection, and that if we determine at our discretion that the property is not acceptable, that we can terminate the contract by delivering written notice, and we are to receive our escrow deposit back. That's the big difference. Standard contract, it could be a problem if you want to back out of it when they're making the repairs. And as is contract, you just wake up in the morning and say, I don't have coffee, now I don't feel like buying that home, and you'll still get your money back. So this is what the summary section of an inspection report looks like. They go through and they point out specific areas that need to be addressed. Now, I'm not going to get into the details of what was repaired and what wasn't repaired, but just so you can see what they look for. Broken locks, electrical, the outlets are not GFI, they don't work, leaks, those types of things. And this is what we would base our repair request off of. All right. So this is a sample repair request. Once we get the inspection back from the home inspector, I review it, and then either I or my transaction coordinator will complete the form. She's licensed, so she can do this. But I direct her. I'll tell her, okay, Christine, all the items in red we need to put into the document and get it repaired. And she will list by photo in the summary. It might say 1.1 faucet leaks, 1.2, and everything's kind of grouped together, garbage disposal inoperable, and so on and so on. She will list these items that, according to the contract, are required for repair. If it's cosmetic, we will not put it in there. Of course, you always can ask for additional money, but the seller is not required to repair anything that's cosmetic. So just keep that in mind and don't be upset if they come back and they start to rebut. Fill this out and send it off to you for signature. That becomes part of the permanent file. Once all the repairs are made, we get receipts from the listing agents, from the contractors that did the work to ensure that it has been repaired, and we also make that part of your permanent file. All right, everyone, thank you for joining me in this episode. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it informative. If you did, remember, like, subscribe, share it with a friend. I'm Robyn Cavallaro. I'm a realtor. Remember, call me anytime. I'm your girl. All right, until next time, I'll see ya.